feel that most people don't really view like mental health issues positively.
I didn't suffer any type of depression or any type of anxiety in my younger years until I got to college.
I never really heard people talk about depression, so I knew something was wrong, but I had no idea what to do.
My fear and anxiety of what could happen held me back from trying to find my place at Miami.
Dealing with these issues that really are like constantly in the back of your mind, it's not something you can just forget about.
It was very scary going to college. I wasn't sure if I was going to be mentally ready and just kind of be on my own.
I didn't realize that I was suffering with mental health. I just thought that I was like going through like a phase or something.
The transition to college was different.
I always tried to give myself a reason for why I was feeling different. I'm allowed to like not feel good.
Thought I had it figured out, and then I started college.
Hi, I'm Amy Malone. I am ending my sophomore year here at Miami, and I'm on the soccer team. I'm in a sorority, and I struggled with depression the first semester of my sophomore year.
So my name is Greta Morris. I'm the president of AOPI. In my freshman year, I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety. It kind of happened February of my freshman year.
I have major depressive disorder, which is just severe depression and generalized anxiety disorder.
I am currently recovering from anorexia and depression, but in high school it started out as an eating disorder. I was a freshman.
From the beginning of my sophomore year, like when we started class, and there was a lot of anxiety going on.
Freshman year, I was depressed, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why.
I noticed the symptoms of depression firsthand, where I was just really unmotivated. I couldn't get out of bed. Kind of everything that I had liked to do beforehand, I no longer had like the energy or motivation to do.
It affected me a lot. My grades started to slip. I wasn't talking to people. I didn't want to leave my room.
I would just like get in these like moods where I wouldn't do anything and would just stay in my bed, and like I wouldn't eat.
I would go to class and I felt like there were too many people, so I had to leave class.
I wasn't really going out anymore with my friends. I was just going to classes, sleeping all the time, basically going through the motions.
At school, I was able to just go to school, put on a face, and come home, and then it'd be a completely different person. So I think one of the really hard things about mental illnesses is that there's two faces for every person.
Nothing tragic happened to me to feel that way. I was having success in a lot of areas of my life, and everything was going good, no family issues, but for some reason like my mind was like letting myself get down on myself.
I've like realized the more you really talk about it, the more you realize that you have connections with other people.
Once I did share it with a lot of my friends, they really either sympathized with me or shared that like they were feeling a lot of the same things too.
One of my closest friends that I kind of shut out on accident and pushed away during this like dark time actually was a friend that suffers with anxiety, and she could have been like a huge help to me, so it was almost ironic that she was the one that I ended up pushing away.
When I did open up and kind of share my story like I am now, I received endless text messages the next day, just, Natalie, you were so strong, you can do this, like if you ever need anything, like people that I didn't even know would text me and just support me through it all.
I kind of wish I would have gone to counseling services like earlier in the school year.
Be vulnerable. When you're vulnerable, people will respond, and they'll be there for you.
Mental illness is something that like no one really talks about, but 1 in 4 Miami students actually has mental illness, so it's a lot more than like a lot of people would guess. And I think one of the hard things with mental illness is that unlike a physical illness, you can't like tell that people are going through these things. You don't really like know what's happening with the person until you ask and until you have like kind of a tough conversation with them.
That's the thing, is like you don't guess it about anybody. So if I walk by someone on the street and say, hey, like never in a million years would I think like, hey, they'd probably like lock themselves in their room sometimes and then like, panic. You never really guess that. You might look at someone and say, hey, look, they have a cast on their arm. So it's like the same kind of concept. Like, you're sick, but I can't tell. And you should be addressing it, but you don't want to because you're scared no one else has it.
Internally, it might be something that's hard to accept just because people don't want to say that they're suffering from depression or they have terrible anxiety just because they don't want to feel like there's something wrong with them, even though that's just something that can happen to anybody.
You can't control that. So when looking at it, it is an illness. It's not something that you can just play off, or it's not like a cut and it'll go away. It's something you have to continually face and like bring it up, because it's not something that really, it doesn't heal itself.
We're so caught up in this life that is Miami University that sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. Sometimes we forget to think about like what's actually going on up here, because we're so like, oh, I gotta get to this meeting, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta send this email, I gotta call this person back. Like, we get so tied up in like this Miami University like thing that we just like forget to take care of ourselves. We do. So I think that if more people actually checked in with themselves and they prioritized themselves and they, you know, thought about self-care a lot more, I think that maybe people would realize like, maybe I do need to talk to somebody about something.
And I will try